Good evening, everyone. Welcome back to the second day of Homeo Talks 2025. And I'm very proud to say that this series is in collaboration with Padel University with Homeopathy 360. And we have various passionate homeopaths to showcase their knowledge, to present their insights. And we are going to learn again through this series. We have our speaker and have Harshit from Padul University, and I'm going to hand over mic to Harshit. Please proceed.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Harshit Kumar from Homeopathy 360. I'm a second year student of Jain HMC and your coordinator for today's webinar. In today's webinar of Homeo Talks 2025, our today's topic is Doctrine of Signature and Homeopathy. Our today's speaker is Dr. Monimala.
Okay, thank you, Harshit, and thank you, Dr. Mansi. Myself, Dr.
Homeopathic
Monimala
Pharmacy and
Pramanick.
23 articles. Also, she has contribution is
Was lost.
DD management.
Harshit, can you please repeat the introduction of ma'am once again? Your connection was lost.
Our speaker for today is Dr. Monimala Pramanick. She is an associate professor and HOD at Jawaharlal Nehru Homeopathic Medical College, Parul University. She has an experience of 6 years and 8 months. She has published 3 books in homeopathic pharmacy and 23 articles. Also, she has contribution in D.D. Banerjee's homeopathic pharmacy books, the third and the fourth revised edition. So now I would like to hand over to Monimala ma'am for
Good evening to all of you. Thank you, Dr. Mansi Tyagi madam, and thank you, Harshit, for the introducing me. Myself, Dr. Monimala Pramanik. I am the associate professor and HOD in Padul University in Jawaharlal Nehru Homeopathic Medical College. And first of all, I want to thank Jain Homeopathy 360 to give me this opportunity. Today, my topic is Doctrine of Signature. Signature means the sign of the nature. Nature is supposed to give us the signs related to our each and everyday life. We have to just think or know about the sign of the nature. We must see the nature's signature or sign from the forests, from the wildlife, or from our surroundings. If we go through to the doctrine of signature definitions, it's a belief or it's a set of beliefs that taught us about the disease, about the characteristics of the forests, the wildlife. And from that characteristics, we can think about the medicines which we can choose for our patients. If you go through about the definitions, it's a belief or a set of beliefs held and taught by a group, that is doctrine. Signature, that has come from a word that is sign, and nature, that means the sign of the nature. Belief, that is signed by the nature. Nature shows us so many things. We have to believe that, and from that belief, we can cure the patients or we can choose the proper medicines. If you go through the ancient theories that claims that plant, the mineral, the animals, they have their own physical characteristics. And these characters tell us the disease they can cure. That means what type of disease they can cure. We will go to the examples later on. Before going to the examples on the doctrine of signature, we should know from where this doctrine of signature words come. It was more popular in the 16th and 17th century. First of all, it was told by Dioscorides, Galen. And if we go through the different books, the book that was written by Jacob Bohemy from 1575 to 1624, and the book's name was The Signature of All Things. And in that book, he had already told us about the nature, the characteristics of each and every plant. So the ancient theory that claims us, that tell us about the different natures, the characteristics of the medicinal plant. This has already, I have told you that Dioscorides and Galen, they have stated that herbs may be used to cure the disease. In ancient times, when there was no book, when the patients, doctors have no idea about the new method of uh, curing the disease, that time, these persons, the persons of the ancient time, they used the herbs according to their physical characters and they treated the patient. So Paracelsus, he was the first person who told about the nature and who told that nature always shows us the healing power, the healing substance against the disease. How did plant show the significance? Plant show the significance by their morphological characters, the color, the shape, the common name, etc. I can give you one example. Suppose Lycopodium. Lycopodium is a moss that is dry and thin. It grows in the dry, deep forests. Like that, if you go through Borix Metria Medica, you can see that the Lycopodium patients, vagina dry, palm dry, mouth dry, tongue dry. So Lycopodium can be used when there is full dryness of the patient. Why should we read Doctrine of Signature? First of all, Doctrine of Signature shows us the nature's sign. Obviously, it is a theory, but it may be a helpful as a scientific basis for trying new remedies. It gives little evidence before analysis through the morphology. And if we want, we can update the list of the Doctrine of Signature. Now we will go to the different examples of the Doctrine of Signature. First of all, we will come to Actia Resimosa. Let's look after the structure of the Actia Resimosa. This is the structure of the Actia Resimosa. Look how it looks like bounded. It is bulged in one place. So this herb, that is the Actia Resimosa, it is a very soft herb. It is perennial plant, 1 to 2.5 meter in long, root that is knotted, and root appears like a ganglia of nerve. You can see this. This looks like the ganglia of the nerve. So this medicine can be used for nerve disease. This medicine can be used for muscle disease. This medicine can be used for inflammation of the ganglia of the nerves. So we can use Actia resimosa obviously for ganglionic diseases related to nerves. This is the structure. Please look after the structures. Ganglia looks like a ganglia. It's like a bunch. So it can be a good medicine for nerves. Next, Agaricus muscarius. If we go through the structure of the agaricus, we can see that the structure is like the ear. The structure of the agaricus is like the ear. You can see it. If we make a slice of agaricus, it looks like the ear. So agaricus is used for the earache. If the patient has a ear problem or pain in the ear, we can prescribe agaricus to that patient. Sliced mushrooms that resembles human ear. So, our ancestors believed these were the perfect vegetable to cure earache. So, if the patient has earache, then we can give agaricus to the patient. Look at the structure of the agaricus once again. It looks like the ear. So it's a sliced mushroom and it looks like the ear. Next, it's a very common fruit to all of us, avocado. Avocado, the scientific name of avocado is Persea americana. And it can be told as the fertility fruit. Just go through the structure. It looks like the ovary. The structure of avocado looks like the ovary. Sorry, it looks like the uterus, isn't it? Not ovary. It looks like the uterus. So, avocado is the fertility fruit and it can be a good medicine for pregnant women. And all of we know that avocado has very huge amount of vitamin C. So, in pregnancy, avocado is also a very good fruit to eat. Look at the structure. It looks like the uterus. Next, the medicine is Chelidonium majus. If we go through the structure of Chelidonium, we can see that the flower of Chelidonium is yellow in color. This one is the flower. So the flower is yellow in color. And this medicine, the Chelidonium majus, is very much useful if the patient is suffering from liver disease or jaundice. In jaundice, all of we know that the patient has the discoloration, yellowish discoloration of the skin. So, in case of jaundice and if there is liver complaint, we can use Chelidonium majus. So, Chelidonium majus, European herbalists used the yellow latex of celandine, that is Chelidonium majus, and the family is Papaveracea, to cure the liver ailments. So, if the patient is suffering from the liver diseases or any type of liver ailments, the Chelidonium majus is a very good medicine. As it has celandine, the 20th century English herbalist and author Maud Grieve wrote, the old alchemists held that it was good to super stifle the jaundice because of its bright yellow color. Please look after the color of the flower. It is bright yellow color. So, in jaundice or in liver complaints, patients may have the yellow discoloration of the skin. So, in that case, if there is any liver complaints, if there is jaundice, we can use Chelidonium majus to cure the patient. Next one is chestnut leaves. Chestnut leaves, or the scientific name of chestnut is Castanea vesca. Okay, let's see the leaves. Okay, if you see the leaves, the side of the leaves are corrugated. We can see the leaf side. They are the tooth-like expression or the leaf sides are corrugated. Now let's see what happens by this medicine? Leaves ends are sharp tooth, so as it has a pain or paroxysm relieving effect. So if the patient has a pain, that pain is sharp like the end or edge of the leaves. If the patient has a sharp pain, for that reason, we can use Castanea vesca. In the ancient time, Castanea vesca was used for stitching pain relieving remedy. Next one is Taraxacum officinale. Taraxacum officinale, that is the scientific name, and the common name is dandelion. If we go through the flower of dandelion, we can see that the color is yellow. The flower color is yellow like the Chelidonium majus. So we have already told that Chelidonium majus is very good medicine for liver complaint, for jaundice. So we can understand from this picture that this medicine also may be a very good medicine for liver complaint and jaundice. So let's see what this medicine helps us. So color of flower is yellow. 10th century physician mentioned it as in liver and spleen treatment. So it is also same as the Chelidonium majus. So we have seen in Chelidonium majus also the color of the flower is yellow and very good medicine for liver complaint and jaundice. Like that, dandelion also, its color, the flower color is yellow, and 10th century physician, they told it as a very good medicine for liver and spleen complaint. And if we go through the Materia Medica, especially Boric's Materia Medica or Clark's Materia Medica, we can see the same things written along with this, that it's a very good medicine for jaundice. So Chelidonium majus is a very good medicine for jaundice. Obviously, in our Materia Medica, there are so many medicines that are very good in jaundice or liver complaints. But according to doctrine of signature, without any drug proving, we can tell that dandelion, Chelidonium majus may be a good medicine for liver diseases. Same as we can tell about turmeric. Turmeric is a very good medicine. It is used as an antiseptic, and it is, I think, in all of our kitchen. So as an antiseptic, turmeric is used. So we can say the turmeric has a yellow color. Maybe it is helpful for liver or jaundice problem. Next, Eupatorium purpureum. Let's see the structure of the Eupatorium. Eupatorium. So this is the structure of the Eupatorium. So if we see the structure, we can see the leaves are fused together. It's fused in the stem. Both sides, the opposite side and the front side, both are fused in the stem. So Eupatorium purpureum, its opposite leaves fuse around the stem, like the broken bone knit back with a scar formation. So especially in bone pain, fever, that is dengue, it is a very good medicine. Next, we will see, this is sea kelp. It's a sea kelp. We can see this type of algae in the sea. And this algae has a very large amount of iodine. So the person who has less iodine or who has obesity, who has non-toxic goiter, we can give that person's fucus vesiculosus or sea kelp. So it is rich in iodine as it absorbs the high iodine content of the sea. So it can get the iodine or it get the iodine from the sea. So it has high amount of iodine. Iodine is a trace element. All of you know that iodine is a very good trace element for the our body. So and it helps to develop to operate the thyroid gland. So iodine that fucus vesiculosus contain. So this fucus vesiculosus can be a very good remedy for obesity, for non-toxic goiter, and for exophthalmos. Next, lachesis. Lachesis is a snake. All of you know that. If we go through the structure of the snake, we can see that snake has a very shiny skin. Like that, the lachesis patient, he has a very glossy and shiny skin. If we go through the tongue of the snake, we can see that the snake tongue is bifurcate and snake continuously protrude its tongue. Like that, the lachesis person's tongue has a bifurcation mark and he or she also protrude the tongue like the snake. Lachesis was the moira that decided the length of life allotted to each human being and God. It's a myth. When not active, the Amazonian bushmasters hide under the big rocks, under logs, in spiny palm shrub, or in any hole that fits the size and does not flood, particularly caves by armadillos, agoitos, and rabbits. Same as lachesis person does not want to mix with the world, wants to be off somewhere all the time. Not only that, like the snake, it's the lachesis persons also swallow the food. If we see the snake, it swallow its food. Like that, the lachesis person who has a lachesis constitution, that person also swallow the food. Generally, we chew the food, but the lachesis constitution patient will swallow the food. He will not chew the food. And all the symptoms of lachesis or the snake remedies will start from the left side. Obviously, are some exceptions, but most of the medicines symptoms also aggravates in the left side. Next, that is mugwort or Artemisia vulgaris. Now, these are the leaves of Artemisia vulgaris. This leaves has a smell, or aromatic odor. So, it is seen the constitution, the patient who has this constitution, if the patient has a fever, he smells like garlic. So, the common name is mugwort. The scientific name is Artemisia vulgaris. The leaves are deeply lobed and they have a distinctive aroma. So in fever, the patient has profuse sweat which smells like garlic. So the smell of the mugwort, it has a distinctive aroma. Like that, the patient has a profuse sweat in fever which smells like the garlic. Next, this is cactus, or the common name is night blooming cereus. If we see the structure of the cactus, we can see that it has water. That means it stores waters. But these stored waters are stuck in the succulent of cactus. So the succulent leaves like cactus store and hold water and bound its flow. Likewise, the flow of blood through the heart is damped up and a feeling of constriction is felt. So the patient of lachesis, he also felt a constriction feeling in his heart. If we go through the materia medica, not only heart, but many organs feels that constriction. Example, in Borix materia medica, as if head were compressed in a vice, constriction of esophagus, constriction of stomach, constriction of neck of urinary bladder, constriction of uterine region and ovaries, constriction of chest as if bound, etc., etc. Just see, it has been written in the Borix materia medica. Next, that is pulmovalgus, the lung of the fox. Lung of the fox, all of you know that fox can run very fast. So the lung of the fox may be used to prepare the homeopathic medicine. So pulmovalgus, that is the lung of the fox, and it is used in homeopathy as a sarcode to prepare the homeopathic medicines. So as the fox is probably the longest winded of all animals, the doctrine of signature pointed to his lungs as a likely remedy for short breath. Pulmovalgus is the good medicine for respiration distress. So if the patient has a short breath and if the patient relief by sitting, in that case, for respiratory distress, we can prescribe pulmovalgus to the patient. Now come to the another medicine, and it is known to all. It is tomato. Tomato, the scientific name is Solanum lycopersicum. If we cut tomato, we can see the 4 chambers, and the color of tomato is like the heart color, that is red. So tomato is a very good medicine for heart. It decreases the pulse rate with anxiety. It decreases the anxiety and apprehensiveness. Next one is walnut. See the structure. It looks like a brain, isn't it? The scientific name of walnut is Juglans regia. It looks like a brain. So according to Boric, the patient is confused, feels as if head were floating in a air. In italic, it has also been written in Boric that occipital sharp pain. So walnut or Juglans regia can be a good medicine for the brain diseases. Now, all of you know that what is this? This is ginger. The scientific name of ginger is Gingiber officinalis. If you go through the structure of ginger, you can see that the structure looks like the stomach, isn't it? It looks like the stomach. So this rhizome or this root can be a very good medicine if the patient has a stomach cramp or the irritation of the stomach. Another a very good medicine that has not been written here, I can share with you. And I want to share with you the inflorescence of Heliotropium europeum that resembles the abdomen of the Scorpio. If you look after the structure of the Heliotropium europeum, you can see that the structure looks like the abdomen of the Scorpio. And in the ancient time, this plant was used for the Scorpio sting. So maybe if we prepare the medicine from Heliotropium europeum, maybe it can be helpful in Scorpio sting. Next, there are many more examples that you can see. If you cut the carrot, the slice of the carrot, you can see the structure looks like the retina. So, and obviously carrot has a very good amount of vitamin A. It's a very good source for vitamin A. So carrot can be used for any eye problem. And euphrasia, another example is euphrasia. You can see the euphrasia, euphrasia leaves and the plant of euphrasia. If you take the drops and of the euphrasia leaves, and if you give the drops near your eyes, it can cause irritation or inflammation and tears from the eyes. Like this, euphrasia is very good medicine for lacrimation. And if you go through the structure of the beans, you can see that beans have a kidney shaped structure. So for kidney complaints, beans can be used as a medicine. And obviously figs. Figs are very small in structure, but it has very a huge amount of seeds. So it has been told that figs are used to increase the sperm count. So if we prepare the medicine, maybe it can help in infertility. And if we go through the structure of the sweet potato, you can see that it looks like the pancreas, the shape of the pancreas. So if the patient is suffering from any pancreatic problem, obviously we can give the patient the medicines that can be prepared from sweet potato. So there are the few examples which I have shared with you about the doctrine of signature. Some has been written in the book, and some examples had been discovered by me from the Borix Metria Medica and from the Habitat that have been taken from HPI. So you can also, there are so many medicines, so many plant kingdom substances, so many animal kingdoms substances. We can make the doctrine of signature. We can prepare the doctrine of signature if we want. Now you can ask me, you may have a questions that why we should read doctrine of signature. Obviously, doctrine of signature makes our study more simple and easy to remember. In examination hall also, if we forget that what are the characteristics or what are the symptoms of chalidonia majus, and if we think about the doctrine of signature, okay, now the flower color is yellow, it may be a good medicine for liver complaints and jaundice. So it is easy to remember and it makes study more simple. And there are so many medicines which symptoms is not easy to remember. So by reading the doctrine of signature, it can be simplified. It can be good if you study by the doctrine of signature for all the medicines. And again, another thing, that there are so many medicines which I am telling you that there are so many medicines which doctrine of signature is not known to all of us. So we can prepare the medicines, or before preparing the medicines from that substances, we from the morphological structure, we can tell about the characteristics of that medicinal substance and what type of disease it can cure. So doctrine of signature makes the study more simple and more easy to remember. There are so many medicines whose doctrine of signature is still unknown. It will really help the students to know materia medica and to understand it very well. This is all about the doctrine of signature. There are so many examples which we can prepare, but these examples that have some of this are taken from the book and some was prepared by myself. So thank you so much. This is all about doctrine of signature. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. I would like to ask if anyone has any doubts on today's topic. If there are any doubts, you can write it in the chat box or the Q&A section. Ma'am, there is one question in the Q&A section. Is
Yes.
hypothyroidism can be reversed?
Hypothyroidism can be reversed. Maybe it can be reversed. Maybe it can happen. But particularly we, the doctors or the physicians of homeopathy, we believe in totality of symptoms. Obviously, doctrine of signature helps us to make it more simple, the study of the symptoms or medicines more simple. But if we go through the totality of symptoms, maybe it reverse. You can reverse hypothyroidism.
Any other doubts? If someone has, they can mention it. Ma'am, I guess there are no more doubts. The topic
Okay.
was clearly explained. So,
Okay.
thank you very much, ma'am. Your knowledge, expertise, and engaging presentation have truly enlightened us today. Your insight on today's topic have provided us with valuable takeaways, and we deeply appreciate the time and effort you have put into sharing your wisdom with us. So, thank you very much, ma'am.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Okay. So, the recording of today's webinar, it would be available on Homeopathy 360's YouTube channel, and you can revise the topic from there.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you, Harshit. And thank you, Madam Mansi, Madam. Thank you so much.